It's hard to do archery without coming across Easton, and for those looking for a quality quiver, Easton has lots. Ranging from basic arrow sleeves and tubes to high-end luxury quiver designs, there's something for everyone in the Easton inventory. Today, we'll be taking a look at something in the high-middle end of the price spectrum, the QH100 hip quiver, slightly more expensive than the budget-sleeved arrow tubes, but with some of the features of the $100 plus elite quivers. As I only have one Easton quiver, it's hard to compare exactly what's different between all of the different versions, but hopefully you can see where the price is justified. The one I have is the silver version, though the QH100 comes in a variety of colors, including camouflage. It's important to note that the QH100 does not come with a belt. You can buy a variety of Easton belts or use your own. In this case, I've salvaged the belt from a previous Hoyt quiver, which works fine. Speaking of the Hoyt quiver, this was the second quiver I owned. The reason I replaced the quiver is quite obvious. The material was easily damaged and ripped up, and this is just from regular usage. I mention this because durability is going to be a factor in deciding which quiver is right for you, and the Easton quivers are tough. They are also quite big. Carrying space is not a problem with this quiver. Even the hip pouch is very spacious. One thing I find really attractive about the pouch design is that it is closed by a magnet. This is surprisingly functional and convenient. Most quivers use zippers for this pocket, so having a magnetic flap makes it easier to open and close in the field. Things just slide in and it closes by itself. There's also a hook next to it. You could use it to hang a release aid or a finger tab, which looks nice. However, I found that the hook is a little shallow, making it easy to knock things off. I prefer keeping a finger tab in the pouch, or you could buy a separate drop-in pouch for your release aid. The hook seems more useful for hanging the quiver itself. As with many quivers, there's a slot for your bow square to slide in. There are a couple of heavy-duty rings that you can hang accessories from, and even space for pens. The positioning on the inside makes it a little awkward, however. On the body of the quiver, there are two compartments. The outside one is small and slim, making it suited for notepads and other small objects. My favorite part is the larger compartment. This is huge and is broken up into several different sections with elastic bands to hold items in place. It's perfectly feasible to carry a lot of spare parts and tools and arrange them in an orderly and accessible manner, and you still have lots of space to throw in other items. The arrows are placed not in separate tubes, but inside built-in slots, separated by a plastic divider. The arrows slide in nicely and with a satisfying thunk. One thing I want to note is that the Easton quiver hangs quite low. Other quivers are often at hip level, while the Easton quiver, with its large pouches and design, tends to lay against your thigh. You'll get used to this quickly, but you might find that you'll bump the quiver as you walk unless you reposition it while walking. I don't really have anything negative to say about the Easton QF100 quiver. It's all round a good quiver. This is the quintessential quiver. When it comes to mid-range, mid-price quivers, this is exactly the sort of thing you're spending money on. And a lot of brands have their own variations of the style. We have the arrow tube, we have the large compartment inside, but the Easton ones have been made for a long time, and these are very, very well made. This thing is definitely durable. I've been using this for probably 3 years and there is not a single sign of damage. No scratches, no tears, no rips. Just holding this as it is. it looks like it's brand new and it feels like it's brand new. That's saying a lot for the quality of its manufacturing. Lots of fun using this, very practical design. I'm the sort of person who likes carrying everything with me, all my spare parts and my tools, anything I need on the day I want to have in here. And I've carried everything: pliers, lighters, hot melt glue, spare points, spare knocks, hex wrench sets, multiple ones, screwdrivers, and there's still space to spare, plus other pouches I haven't used. And of course, the magnetic hip pouch. This thing is underrated. Look at this. That's easy to use. It won't come up unless you pull it up, but it's not so strong we have to fight it. It's much more simple to use compared to a zipper. I like zippers. I don't mind zippers. But this thing is definitely well thought out and well put together. Yes, this may cost a bit more than what you might be budgeting for a quiver. You might be only spending $40 or $50, and for that price range you can get a pretty moderate hip quiver. Might be a single canvas tube where you put arrows in, and then you might have a pouch if you're lucky. But for an extra $30 or so, you get the whole package here. Apart from the belt, which is sold separately, or you can use your own belt, what you get is this, and this is well worth it. I mean, a lot of people will go cheap on quivers because, well, it's just a quiver, right? But when you get this, you get a suite. You get carrying space, you get pouches, you get convenience and functionality. In my opinion, it's well worth the price. And while you can find many quivers like this, and they may have very similar functions, Easton is definitely undeniably a quality brand. If there is one downside, and I had to nitpick, it would be the color options. You do get a decent range of colors. You can see people with pink and green and purple and a lot of unusual colors which you don't often find in quiver selections. But if you're the sort of person who treats aesthetics very seriously and you want to color coordinate your gear, then you might find that the quiver doesn't really provide much option. It's mostly black and grey. The only color changes are the accents. So I chose a silver one. You can see this silver part here and this silver stripe here are the only things which really change color. So if you want an all red quiver or an all blue quiver or an all green quiver, then this one won't provide that option. You get a really nice secondary color, but it's going to be mostly black and grey. If you don't mind and you don't care, then it's still a very good deal. But if you are color conscious, then just do bear in mind that it's only this part that is different. Overall, I do highly recommend the Easton QH100 quiver. There are many quivers like it, and Easton have several different variants with different price ranges and different features, but for me the QH100 is the one I bought, and I have no reason to dislike it. It's well worth the money. If you want to be a slightly serious archer, at least look like a slightly serious archer, then you need to have one of these by your side or something similar to it. If you just want to increase your budget just a bit to buy something a bit more deluxe without going to the $100 plus price range for quivers, then this is the standard you're aiming for. Anyway, this is NUSensei. Hope you found this helpful. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.